Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know how this machine worked.
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
And it was wrong. It was a bad call, Ripley. It was a bad call.
Bad call.
Some are good for fighting, others for dying.
It's Just Two Movies.
Welcome back to another episode of It's Just Two Movies. It's our first episode back from the break. We do have a quick announcement up top.
Oh.
Because it's my name's Daniel King. With me in the studio is your boy.
Ja-boy.
Ja-boy. Birdman.
Hey.
Yeah, fully recovered from any amnesia related things.
Accidents or
any of that stuff. It's funnier if I don't mention it. The thing that we wanted to mention is we're not hip on pop culture. Just to give you a heads up, we watch movies. When was the last time you read like a magazine article or like saw a clickbait and we're like, oh my God, what celebrities wouldn't I believe have pubic hair or whatever? Never.
The most that I see is on Reddit. So I do see a few things, but it's not like you have to follow specific, whatever they're called, Reddits. I guess the threads. Yeah, subreddits.
Yeah, subreddit threads.
You have to follow specific subreddits to be informed by those things.
Right. So
yeah,
Ron Jeremy turns out is like a real bad dude, rape, like a bunch of rape, like a whole bunch of rape.
Yeah, and we didn't know this.
Like a lot of rape, like almost like you made it your profession to rape people, like a abnormal amount of rape. And we didn't know that before we chose the movie. One-Eyed Monster.
One-Eyed Monster.
Literally, all we knew about Ron Jeremy was that he had a big dick, he was in porn, and he was also in the movie One-Eyed Monster, which we actually didn't even know about that until we sat down to watch it.
Right.
So, full disclosure, we're not out there. The only expression I can think of is stroking his dick. So we're not stroking his dick and talking about how awesome he is or anything. We just watched a movie because we don't know any. We just don't know any of that shit.
Yeah.
Not apologizing for it. Just full disclosure, we weren't aware.
We weren't aware of that.
We wouldn't have watched it.
Yeah, we probably wouldn't have done that movie.
We're like, no, fuck that guy.
Maybe let's do another movie.
Yeah, he might have got a residge off that, and I'm not down with giving him any of my money for watching One-Eyed Monster. Anyway, so if you've never tuned into this podcast before, what we do is we watch a good movie, and then we watch a bad movie. But while we're doing that, we have some beers and we talk about it and we kick it around and have a nice laugh.
We have a good time.
We're having a real good time. So we're back and I picked the movie this week.
Yep.
So I wanted to do something nostalgic since it's the first episode back from our break, and I went with
the movie that
I went with the first movie that we ever were like, all right, let's make a podcast about movies. I don't know how it's gonna work, but let's do it. So we got real drunk and we watched Jojo Rabbit.
Yep.
And I went to edit it, and it was so bad that I was like, we can't release this. This is unusable content. I still have it, and it's not. It could be worse, but this is the first movie we ever watched for It's Just Two Movies in the format of a good movie then a bad movie.
Correct.
Originally, we watched Jojo Rabbit with Blood Rain, Third Reich.
Yeah.
Whew.
We're not going to do that.
No, I didn't want to rewatch that. This is real bad. Unless you're just real horny and it's like on Skinamax or something, it's pretty hot. There's some legit fucking in there. Like, that's why they made the movie. They're like, God, it just fucking turns me on so bad to fuck in front of millions of people. Can we make a movie? And can I fuck in it? Yeah, so we watched Jojo Rabbit. If you're not familiar with Jojo Rabbit, let me tell you a little bit about it. Apart from the fact that it is one of my favorite films, it is actually a PG-13 2019 war comedy. Seems weird, but makes sense, though.
It's a drama, too, though.
Yeah, hour 48 runtime. It's got a 7.9 out of 10 on IMDb, 80% on Rotten Tomatoes, 4.9 out of 5 on Facebook. Who gives a shit? 93% of Google users like this movie. Release date November 8th, 2019. Directed by Taika Waititi. It's adapted from a book called Caging Skies,
Which we just learned.
Yeah, we just learned that. Stars Taika Waititi, Roman Griffin Davis, Scarlett Johansson, Thomas and McKenzie, Sam Rockwell, Rebel Wilson, Stephen Merchant,
Alfie Allen,
Archie Yates, Luke Brandon Field, Brian Casp, Joe. Who cares about those other people?
You didn't say Alfie Allen.
Alfie Allen.
Yeah, he's Sam Rockwell's second hand or whatever.
He didn't show up on my fucking thing. Yeah, but Alfie Allen's in there also. It's a very fun character. They're having a great time.
Yeah.
Do you have any like budgetary information for this?
Yeah. So I've got for the budget $14 million.
All right, nice return.
That's
nice return on this then.
So worldwide, what do you have?
Box office, I've got 90.3 million. I'm assuming that's domestic.
That's worldwide.
Oh, that's worldwide box office.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Opening weekend, it only made. I say only, but it's a lot of money. It only made $350,000.
Wow.
But worldwide, it has made 90 million.
This should have been marketed better. In my opinion, this is comedy gold, tug at your heartstrings. It's dramatic. Like, it's got fucking everything.
Yeah, I think for some folks, though, it's a sensitive subject.
Because they love and miss Hitler? Is that what it is? So for anybody who's like, Jojo Rabbit, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Could you briefly tell us what it is about? Spoiler free.
Spoiler free? Okay. Jojo Rabbit is about a young boy. I believe he's like 10.
Yeah.
This is set in Nazi Germany.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to be in Hitler's, what the hell do they call it?
Private guard. That's what he wants to be more than anything. He wants to be a Nazi. He wants to wear a uniform. He wants to serve his country, and he wants to be Hitler's right-hand man. Right. Because he thinks Hitler is like a hero.
Yeah. And it is about his journey through that, those aspirations.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too much into it, but
the only thing I would say about it, to sum it up, it's about a 10-year-old boy in Nazi Germany realizing that he's not racist.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's a spoiler for anything.
And that last part is something else. Like I want to touch on that, but we'll go towards that a little bit later. Just like looking through some of the reviews for this on Metacritic, I feel like a lot of people really missed what this film is about at its core. You know what I mean? So we'll get to that later.
Okay.
It's funny. It's like you said, it kind of tugs at your heartstrings. It's a little dramatic.
Irreverent.
Yeah.
I don't know, just throwing around. It's a word I read.
It's a word.
I'm not sure what it means. That was a question. Did it come out as a comment?
I think that's you mentioned the cast. We got a little bit of box office information, so let's get into it.
I love that Taika Waititi is just like, no, fuck it. I'm going to be in all of my movies.
Right.
Just even some of them, just for a minute. Have you ever seen Hunt for Wilder People?
No.
He's in it for like 30 seconds. It's amazing. Really good movie. Actually, very similar kind of vein to Jojo Rabbit.
Okay.
My daughter loves it. Hunt for Wilder People. She's watched it like 4 times.
Nice.
I know, and she's not real into rewatching shit. Full tilt spoilers ensue from here to the end of the first half of the show or whatever. Let's talk about Jojo Rabbit. Charming intro.
Sorry, I'm blanking. What happened?
All right.
Because I thought don't we immediately meet Jojo? Like, is that not?
Oh my god! Look at all those old brews. Oh, thanks for bringing me another looted art. I gave him all to Mills. Like, I gave all of them to Mills, and he was like, "These are fucking delicious." I was like,
"Did he like all those beers?"
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
All right, you got Jojo. He's getting dressed in his room. He's getting ready.
That's what I thought.
He's got his little tiny itty bitty Nazi uniform on. His junior. He's like a Cub Scout, pretty much, but for Nazis. And he's talking to his imaginary friend, who is Taika Waititi as kind of a cartoonish Adolf Hitler.
Yes,
because he's a 10-year-old little boy. He idolizes Adolf Hitler for whatever reason, but because he is a 10-year-old boy, his imaginary friend turns out, more cartoony.
Right.
Because you're 10. That's just, you remember being 10? Do you? Are you 10 right now? Right. I said, it's just, don't write me. Jesus, that
you shouldn't be listening to this.
Almost went wrong. No, you shouldn't be listening to this. Go do your fucking homework.
Yeah, so we meet Jojo Betzler.
Jojo
and
Betzler.
He's his goal is to become a great junior Nazi.
Yep.
And as you said, his imaginary friend is a silly version of Hitler.
So funny.
Yeah.
So funny. And it's like, what were they saying? Like Taika Waititi, somebody like, oh, so you didn't research Hitler at all. Like your character's actually nothing like Hitler. And he's like, yeah, no shit. Because fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Like, who cares? No, I'm playing a child's imaginary friend who just resembles Hitler and he's like, oh, Hitler loves Germany or whatever.
Yeah.
That's it. That's his whole spiel.
Right.
He's like, hey, heil me.
Heil me.
You know, it's fucking so bizarre and funny. I guess if you're super touchy about it, that would turn a lot of people away from this. I am very of the school of thought that nothing's sacred, and if it is, it fucking shouldn't be.
And you should be able to make fun of it.
All things on the table, I can make fun of fucking anything. Including myself, which I will do. What a fat, bald piece of shit. Got him.
And look at me.
Who's me?
Tall, handsome.
What a tall, handsome, good-looking, nice young man. Who also is a piece of shit. His friend's just a real piece of shit.
That Tim Robinson skit where he's like, I used to be a real piece of shit.
No, that's fine. That's why your baby doesn't like me, because I used to be a real piece of shit. But you know what your baby doesn't know is people can change. So, what the fuck am I doing?
Anyways, yeah.
So, yeah, you're getting your intro. He's talking to his imaginary friend. He's like getting all pumped up, and he's going to Nazi camp. It's like Cub Scouts sleepaway camp or whatever.
This next bit though, like, is one of the funniest things in the movie for me.
With Sam Rockwell?
No, before that, Jojo just like frolicking through town.
Oh, just hiling Hitler like crazy.
Just like, I don't know, it's just.
Oh, I fucking did it.
It just makes a super sensitive subject just seem silly.
It's so lighthearted because it's fucking stupid. At the end of the day, you'd be like, oh, I don't like those people because of their heritage. Like, that's stupid.
Right.
It's stupid. It's stupid as fuck. That's it. He's running through the street, hiling Hitler. He's going to his sleepaway camp or whatever.
Yep.
And then he gets to Nazi camp, and he's introduced to the guy that's running the camp. I don't have his character's name in front of me, but it is played by the always pleasant Sam Rockwell. He plays Captain...
Oh, Captain K. Because he's like, Captain you can just call me Captain K. Just don't worry about it.
Cleansing. It's like dot at the
stop.
end. Yeah, Captain. Anyway, Sam Rockwell plays Captain K. He's got a glass eye. He talks about. He's like, oh, ever since Operation Fuck Up, I lost a perfectly good eye, and I'm told that I can't be in the Nazi army anymore because I need two good eyes.
Basically, Captain K is kind of a disgraced commander, right?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Probably
like,
because you come to find out that he's a homosexual man as a commanding officer in the Nazi army. So they're probably like, well, you're skilled, but we would kill you under any other normal circumstances.
Which it doesn't really become apparent until probably like midway through the film.
Yeah, halfway,
but
3/4.
There's a
maybe.
point where you're like, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I get it.
I'm
hashtag woke.
He's not allowed to continue leading the Nazi army.
Yeah.
So he is in charge of what they call Young Volk. I believe, is that how they pronounced it, I think?
Close enough
Young
for me.
Volk, which is like the
I
junior
don't know.
Hitler army.
If you're German, write us. How's our pronunciation of things? It's just twomovies@gmail.com. Oh, also, we're on YouTube like all the time now.
Check it out.
All these episodes. I'm not sure what day they come out yet because we're still doing backlog at the day that we're recording this. But we're on YouTube. If you're listening to this on YouTube, I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a like. It'd be great.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
So another funny little bit during this scene is Rebel Wilson. She's like, who is fantastic in this film.
I have had 13 children for Germany.
She's like,
whatever.
Yeah, she's like, I have 18 children for Germany.
She's fucking so funny, man. You seen a picture of her since she lost a ton of weight? She's looking great, man.
Looks fantastic.
Looking fit.
And the kids,
it does make her look like she's got more teeth, though. She's very toothy, which I didn't notice when she was a little heavier. But who cares?
Some people have.
I think she's cute as a button and fucking hysterical.
Yeah.
So good, brava.
Right. So the kids are having a blast at Nazi camp.
Mm-hmm.
There's a fantastic sequence, a fantastic scene, cutaway, whatever you want to call it.
Scene transition.
A transition,
exactly what
yeah.
you're ready to say.
The kids are. Rebel Wilson's like, all right, it's time to burn some books.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's time to have some fun. Let's burn some books.
Woo!
So the kids are burning books. I guess the embers from the books, they're floating up into the sky. They float up and they float above the campground, and through that, it kind of mixes with the stars. And I don't know, it's just a fantastic scene.
It is.
It's beautiful.
It is really great.
Yeah.
Just the way that it's shot to transition from scene to scene.
Right.
The score and the soundtrack for this, top shelf.
Great.
Top shelf, baby.
Which, real quick, let's see. Let's try to see if we can credit that.
Well, while you're looking that up to credit the score, the first words out of my mouth were like, "What a great opening." And what I mean by that is, I've watched less than 5 minutes of movie, not movie. That's not a thing. Maybe 7 minutes, and I have been introduced to every main character except 2, and they follow shortly after, and they're 2 of the most important characters.
Yeah.
So in less than 10 minutes of this hour and 40-minute movie, I know who everybody is. I've got a good sense of everybody's like character, and it's just perfect pacing to be like, okay, we're going to tell you a story real quick. Here's everybody that you care about, and then let's get on with the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's what is this, like an hour 50?
Oh, like hour 48 or something like that.
It all runs together so well.
Oh, yeah.
And
there's no downtime.
Right.
There's no padding for time. There's nobody's like chewing up scenery and shit. It's just, man, it's fucking really well.
Yeah. Okay, so music composed by Michael Giacchino, I believe. I guess.
Giacchino.
Or Giacchino.
Hey.
Hey.
You want a little Giacchino?
Mike.
Hey.
Come on. So,
please.
Yeah.
Please. Giacchino, please.
My father was...
What are you asking me? Some kind of co-op? Sit down. That's some macaroni and cheese.
There you go.
All right.
Get it.
I'll get it.
So right after the book burning scene, the older boys are... Or wait, do you have anything else? Because was this where Jojo and his friend...
The actual rabbit incident? Is that what you're talking about?
I was getting ready to get to that. But am I skipping the bit where he's in the
tent?
The tent.
That's
am I skipping that?
That's right after the book burning thing.
Okay.
So it's like the stars, and then it pans down to the tents.
Dude,
and Jojo and his friend Yorkie are sitting in there in the tent, and he's like, "What would you do if you saw a Jew?" And he's like, "I'd kill it like that." But he can't snap his fingers, so he's trying to kill it like that. But he can't snap his fingers, so he like puts down his knife and claps his hands because they're fucking 10.
They're kids.
It does a really good job the whole movie of going, these are fucking kids though. Like, remember, these are not actors. I mean, they are actors and it is a film, but they're portraying children.
Right.
Like itty bitty little kids. One thing that really takes me out of a film is if a child is the protagonist and they talk and do things like adults. It like removes me from the fantasy that is storytelling.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
10-year-olds don't say that, or
10-year-olds don't talk like that or think like that, or you know what I mean? Like this is not a real story. Like immediately I'm like, it's fucking not a kid though. This is a screenwriter, not a child.
Right.
And you never lose that illusion in this, except Jojo does say some very grown up things.
He does.
But he still says it like under the complete guise of being a child the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this scene because there are just a few funny bits in there. Because Yorkie is fucking hilarious. His friend Yorkie is
he's
one of the funniest parts of this film, honestly.
You'll see him in more shit, Mark, because this kid is...
Who?
Jojo? Roman Griffin Davis.
Jojo?
I've seen him in other stuff, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thomasin McKenzie is killing it, bro.
Oh, she's so good in this.
She's in fucking everything now.
Yeah.
Have you seen Last Night in Soho?
Not yet.
It's great.
Is it good?
It's great. Yeah,
nice.
I'll talk about it a little more when we get to
cool.
what you watching.
What you watching? There's some older boys in this and this, what I call it, young Volk, or however you say it.
Yeah.
Some older boys and girls in this.
Boy Scout Nazis. That's what I call it.
Yeah. Boys. And they force Jojo to kill a bunny.
Mm-hmm.
Because they saw him.
The head, like, older kid that you're talking about is played by Sam Haygarth.
Okay.
Who's excellent at looking sinister and snotty. Like, he just looks like a little shithead. And he is. But he's like, I don't know, probably 15.
15, 16, something
15,
like that.
16, yeah. He's just older, older kids.
Right. But they saw Jojo earlier in the film. He's kind of shying away from a fight or whatever, and they notice him and they're like,
Yeah, they're doing war games, and they're like, let's fuck with this kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they fuck with him, and they try to get him to, they try to force him to kill a bunny, and obviously Jojo's not going to do it. So that's where the nickname comes. That's where it comes from.
Right. They're like, oh, you're so scared like a little rabbit. And he starts running away because they're like, well, fucking smash your head, you little bitch. He starts running away, and the kid's like telling all the kids to start chanting, Jojo Rabbit. So he runs off in the woods. He's talking to imaginary Hitler. And imaginary Hitler, Taika Waititi's like, you want to talk about what happened, little man? And he's like, oh, no. He's like, oh, he convinces him that rabbits are brave and strong and cunning and all this stuff. So he's like, yeah, just be the rabbit. Starts fucking running through the woods. This might be one of my favorite scenes.
But also during that bit, before any of that, he's like, cigarette? He offers.
So Taika Waititi, as his imaginary friend, he like offers him cigarettes like five, 6 times in the movie, and he's like, "I'm 10. Stop offering me damn cigarettes." Like, sorry, I'm nervous. Like, that's what I do when I'm nervous. You never offer other people cigarettes.
But you never see him smoke.
No,
that's what's funny about
it. He says, "Sorry, I'm nervous. I just offer other people cigarettes when I'm nervous."
But going back to what you were saying.
So he's sprinting through the woods. He's like, yeah, Jojo Rabbit, yeah. So he's running towards Sam Rockwell, and he's going to grab a hand grenade out of Sam Rockwell's hands. But him and Taika Waititi are running through the woods. Nobody else can see Taika Waititi because he's an imaginary friend.
Correct.
And he's like, this is amazing. We're like 2 gazelles. He's like, rhinoceroses, octopuses, rhinocerosipusses, or whatever he says. Rhinoctopuses. Yeah. Rhinoctopuses. Because he's a 10-year-old's imaginary friend. It's just, it's very cleverly written, and they stick to the idea that, like, this is a kid.
Yeah.
And I find that really charming, because at some point, I don't care how old you are, if you're listening to this point, to this podcast, at some point, you were a fucking kid.
Mm-hmm.
I was. Do you remember what it was like to be a 10-year-old boy?
No.
Oh.
It was just a lot of video games and,
Gotcha. Well, I remember the mindset of being a 10-year-old boy. Like, I remember...
I really don't, honestly.
Wonderment and fascination with things, and I can still tap into that. I know what it's like to be fanatic about a thing and to not really even know what it is. Or
understand it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just know that you like it.
Yeah, exactly.
You enjoy it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember very well what it's like to be a child in that respect, and they never lose this. They never come out of it.
Yeah.
Or if they do, they just dip their toes in the water of being like, all right, we're a little more self-referential.
Yeah.
It just really well done in that aspect. So he grabs a grenade, he fucking throws it, and he's like, yeah, I'll show everybody I'm not scared. Meow! And he throws a grenade, bounces off a tree, lands right next to him, and he's like, oh, fuck. And Taika Waititi's like, oh, shit. And he just runs away, and Jojo just stands there. So he gets blown up by a grenade. They've got some very fun visuals of him, like, going to the hospital.
Yeah.
I don't say fun as in a 10-year-old was blown up with a grenade. I say fun as in, like, it's shot in an interesting way.
Right. Kind of like that blurry.
Yeah, they're like when he puts up the thumbs up to Taika Waititi, he's like his imaginary friend's in the hospital with him, and his hand's all bloody, and Taika Waititi's like,
he passes out.
Yeah, he like, just passes out. So anyway, he eventually gets to go home with Mom. Mom, played by the lovely Scarlett Johansson.
Absolutely lovely Scarlett Joe.
It's Yo.
Oh. Johansson.
Johansson.
Is it Johansson?
Johansson, yes, thank you. Yeah, thank you. She was originally in Mbop. I don't know if you remember that. That song from the band Johansson. It's a big hit in the 90s.
Yeah, like you said, he goes home with Mom. She suggests that they go out, right?
She does.
And he's like, look at me. I'm a mess.
I'm a fucking monster.
I'm a monster.
Look at me. He's like, look at my face, woman. He's very concerned with he's like, oh, I'm not handsome anymore. He's like, I'm an ugly little boy. I'm like a freak or whatever. He's still a very cute little boy. If anything, he's got a fucking sweet scar.
Yeah. And we get a really funny line from Scarjo.
Scarjo.
She says, I, for one, am cursed to look incredibly attractive.
Yeah, she's like, you might be so lucky to be ugly.
She is so fucking funny in this.
Dude, it's because she's been Black Widow for so long, and then when she wasn't, everybody's like, hey, you free to do an action movie? You want to whitewash Ghost in the Shell, Scarjo? Do you want to? So, she's getting cast in all these things that are like high concept action.
Yeah.
Or drama, even in Marriage Story.
Yep.
Which I didn't care for, but I appreciate her role in it. Like her and Adam Driver, that were both great in it. I just don't care about it.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I thought it was a good story.
Yeah.
I thought it was well acted.
I thought it was really well acted. I just wasn't interested in it. I'm like,
I can see that.
People get divorced.
Yeah.
What are they going to do with the kid? I don't know. Well, it'll go A or B. I don't know.
Right.
Scarlett Johansson, very funny in this. Like comedic timing, it's top notch. So she's like a special agent Jojo. You're our top man. We have to go out or going out to the house or whatever. And he very, very genuinely looks up at her and he goes, "Is it dangerous?" And she just looks back at him and smirks. She's like, "Extremely." And then they open the door. So there's lots of fun, like, whip pans in this.
Yeah.
Which is a word that I learned doing an episode with Doug Wicker. That's that thing that Edgar Wright does in the Cornetto trilogy where it's...
Oh, okay.
That's called a whip pan.
Wit?
Whip.
Oh, whip.
Whip.
Whip?
Pan. Whip a pan.
All right, thanks, Danny. We get it.
You're welcome. I made an exaggerated face for everyone out there that can't see me.
Yeah, so they go out of the house. She takes him to Captain K.
Oh, yeah. She's like,
Sam.
You fucked up my kid's face, so you're going to make sure he has a job and feels included.
Yeah, but she fucking knees him right in the nuts, like as soon as they get there.
Yeah, she does.
And it's like, oh, fuck. She means business.
Yeah. What's that? What's their last name?
Betzler.
Betzler. She's like, oh, this is Fraulein Betzler. Just laying on the ground, holding his balls, trying not to throw up.
So I think I missed this part. It's in this same scene. I think I missed this the first time I watched it when we did the episode. But Rebel Wilson, Sam K. Sam Rockwell. Sam Rockwell, Captain K, whatever. I'm going to try to call him Captain K. They're trying to find things for JoJo to do, and Rebel says that they need someone to walk the clones.
Oh, yeah.
Which is fucking hilarious because it pans to literally...
Right.
Just a bunch of...
Like 13 kids that look they look like clones. Like one of them's working out, some of them are reading, like they're all doing different shit.
And I think I missed that the first time I watched it. Oh, yeah. Dude, that is so fucking funny.
Yeah, well, because Hitler's Nazi Germany was way into that shit. He's like, maybe you can clone people. I don't know. Nobody ever seriously looked at it. Let's seriously look at it.
Let's see if we can do it.
Let's see if we can. So yeah, very, very funny.
Yeah.
Very funny stuff. And she's like, well, he can deliver these conscriptions. And then she's like, here are your conscriptions, and here is a gun.
Here's your pistol. And Mom's like, no. I don't think so. Oh,
So he's enjoying his new job, like helping out with Captain K. And Captain K's like, since the incident with the hand grenade, I have been further demoted, and now I get to work in this lovely office with all these great kids. There's just a bunch of kids working in the office. He just fucking hates it, man.
Oh man,
he hates life so much. He's
at
drinking.
This point,
it's 9 a.m. maybe,
and he's got a flask.
He's hitting the flask already. He is just a miserable son of a bitch. So, end of the day, JoJo gets home. He hears a little rustling around. He goes upstairs, and he finds a crawl space in the attic. So he starts crawling in it. Voila, there is Thomas and Mackenzie, a Jewish girl, being holed up in his attic.
Mm-hmm.
So he's conflicted. She takes his knife away and scares the shit out of him. He's like, are you a ghost? And she's like, no, I'm much worse than a ghost. You know what I am. say it. And he's like, a Jew. And she, like, because she knows he's 10 and she's, I don't know, 15, 16. So she's kind of trying to, like, intimidate him, like, by scaring him because he's a child. She probably has younger siblings or whatever. I really like the fact that they give her enough agency to go, she can handle this situation as a child, because she's also still a child.
Right.
She might be, at the absolute oldest, I would say 17, but I wouldn't even say that old.
Yeah.
Maybe 15, 16.
I would say like 5 or 6 years older than him, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So they've given her enough agency to be like, I can take charge of this and then not have to tell. Scarlett Johansson is harboring Thomasin McKenzie in the house of her own free will.
Yes.
Because Jojo's mom, although Jojo is a Nazi fanatic, Scarlett is like on the side of the Alliance and like trying to help hide people and, you know, do what she can.
Yep. She's fighting for the good side.
She is fighting. Yeah, she's fighting. She's team good guys.
Go good guys.
Yep. And so anyway, they finally wind up at a stalemate. And Jojo comes up there and he knocks on the door and he's like, all right, if I tell, you know, the SS that you're hiding here, you'll tell them that my mom helped and I don't want that.
Right.
And if I tell my mom, then you'll kill her and I don't want that. And if I try to kill you myself, you'll cut off my Nazi head and I also don't want that. So you can stay here. Just, you know, fucking be quiet and don't. He like tries to throw rules at her and shit, and she's not having it. One of the parts that I find really charming about this whole thing is that he never mentions it to his mom.
Yeah.
Never, never mentions it to her, and neither does Thomasin McKenzie. They're all keeping secrets from each other.
Yeah, these 3 people.
Scarlett's keeping secrets from Jojo. Jojo's keeping secrets from Scarlett. Thomasin's keeping secrets from Scarlett. And Jojo's keeping, and Scarlett's keeping, Jojo's keeping. Yeah, anyway, there's a thing. It's hard to keep track of while I've had a couple of beers.
These 3 people are keeping several secrets. But one thing I want to say is I love, you mentioned it briefly, but I love Thomasin McKenzie's way of dealing with Jojo. As a Jewish person, why can't I talk right now?
As a Jewish Persian
person, her way of dealing with him, even though she is still a child, is really fascinating in this film because
she just big sisters him.
She does, but it's almost as if like her character is already used to the way she's treated. Obviously,
yeah. Just and there's a bit a little bit later in the movie where. Scarlett's talking to Thomasin McKenzie about Jojo and he's asleep and she's like, oh, I don't know, do you think he'll come around? And she's like, you don't understand, he's a fanatic.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I know my sweet little boy's in there somewhere, my little boy who is scared of thunderstorms and thinks that I invented chocolate cake. I know he's in there, but he's so fanatic about this stuff that he's so wrapped up in it he can't see the forest for the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just the writing and the dialogue in this, like some of the dialogue exchanges, straight up give me goosebumps. It's so fucking good.
You just quoting, that gave me goosebumps. Like
it's just so good.
It's
so good.
So yeah, we have a bit of a stalemate here, I guess. You know, with this whole situation. But after that, we get an amazingly funny pool scene.
Oh my god, the bit at the pool. Jojo's getting stretched out by Fraulein Rebel Wilson, whatever her name is. Fraulein Rebel Wilson. That's not her name, but so Rebel Wilson, she's stretching him out. And she's like, oh, don't worry. She's like, the pain is good. It means your leg will be able to move, and then you won't scare as many people, although you're still very ugly. Like, just this poor little kid. He's cute as a button, man. He's just a cute fucking kid. And she's stretching him out or whatever, and then he goes up and he's talking to Captain K at the pool, and he's like, hey, Captain K, can I ask you some questions? And he's like, yeah, kid, what's going on? He's like smoking and drinking at the pool, just like lifting a 2-pound weight, doing some curls. He's like, yeah, kid, what's up? And he's like, so he's asking him questions about Jews. Jojo decides he's going to write a book, like an expose about Jews, because he's like, oh, they have scales and they have horns and they always smell like Brussels sprouts and all this fucking weird shit. It's just like his make believe,
made up.
It's a monster. He's just made up a monster in his head, and he thinks those are Jewish people, and they're not. They're just regular old people.
Right.
I'm about to piss my pants.
Same.
Let me get through this, and then we'll take a piss and come right back. We'll take a piss.
Wendy said to tell you, Stan said to tell you you're a cunt. You're a cunt. You're a cunt. You're a cunt. Continuing source of inspiration.
You can't.
You're a cunt. Stan can go fuck himself. Anyways.
A continuing source of inspiration. Like, all right, I know South Park has been beating that same drum for a really long time. Some of those jokes are just fucking bangers, though. All right, so... so they're at the pool or whatever, and JoJo's like, oh, yeah, well, aren't Jews, whatever. And Sam Rockwell is just, he's humoring the kid. Yeah. Because he's a fucking 10-year-old boy. He's like, oh, yeah, that's true. They are. They do hang from the ceiling like bats, because he's just humoring the kid. And then they're getting ready to do pool warfare or whatever. He's like, in case these guys ever have to go to war in a pool. There's some shit in this movie. Please watch it. I will tell you, this is like one of my favorite movies I think I've ever seen in my entire life. There are so many visual jokes in this that we can't. Yeah. And we're not even going to try. No. We're not even going to try to relay them to you in podcast format. But God, there's so much funny shit in here.
This whole scene is amazing. You get Taika Waititi as Hitler. You get him in the pool swimming, but he's also like afraid. He has a gun in the pool.
Right. Yeah. Like, he's always saying weird shit. He's like, oh yeah, we're having a unicorn at my house for dinner.
And you get Rebel Wilson sliding the length of a fucking half a basketball court to
the long slide. Yeah.
To talk to Captain K.
Yeah, it's like scooting down a bench like 45 yards to talk to somebody. It's good shit. All right, let's take a piss.
All right. So the next thing I have is another fantastic scene from Scarlett Johansson. Johansson. Sorry.
From the band.
She was in the band?
Yeah, in the band Johansson. Featuring their hit song Bop?
Bop it?
Twist it. Twist?
So Jojo and his mother are at the dinner table. I don't know if I'm skipping anything, let me know if you want to mention something else.
There's one more thing I want to mention.
Okay.
There's a bit where Jojo is talking to Thomas and Mackenzie because he's like, all right, here's the terms of you staying here is you have to tell me all about the Jews so I can write this book. Okay? So she's humoring him, and then she tells him about her boyfriend or whatever. And she's like, oh, yeah, we're going to go get married in France. And he's like, yeah, whatever. Why don't you go live in cheese, snail, and baguette land? I wrote down cheese, snail, and baguette.
I believe it's pronounced baguette.
It's pronounced baguette. Isn't it? Is this a good bit that we're doing that we can't pronounce anything?
Oh, man.
Or that we're just sure of the wrong pronunciations?
Man, we're dumb.
I love it. Cheese, snail, and baguette land. Cheese, snail, and baguette land. That's fucking great. Have you ever had escargot?
No.
I had it once, but from a restaurant that you probably shouldn't get escargot from, and I was like, this is fucking gross. I ate 3 of them, and I was like, nah. This just ain't for me. This ain't for me, dog. But I would try it again from like a really highbrow a restaurant.
Oh, yeah, nice. All right, so the scene I want to talk about is, Jojo is at dinner with his mother. The tension, I love the tension between these two about what is happening.
It's because
they want to talk about it.
They both want to talk about it. They both want to talk about it. Well, Jojo kind of does. He like pushes the envelope more than she does.
A little bit.
And she's like, I don't want to yell at you, so I'm just not going to comment.
Right.
Because if I were to comment, you're going to push back, and then I'm going to let you fucking have it.
And he lashes out a little bit. He tells her that he wants his father.
She's like, "You want your goddamn dad?" All right.
And this is amazing. Dude.
Oh man, give me fucking getting them goose pimples.
Got them goose pimples.
Got them goose pimples, boy. She goes over to the fireplace, grabs some like a black piece of charcoal, and like fucking rubs it across her face where it looks like she has a beard,
and it looks so good. Like how many times? Okay, I was wondering this the other night.
That's probably like, she goes over, she grabs the coal and cut.
Right.
Makeup, and then it cut back, and
you see her pretend to like.
It's fucking
put it
great,
on,
man.
right?
It looks so good. It looks like has half a beard.
Yeah.
And then she walks back over the dinner table. He's like, "Don't you ever talk to your goddamn mother like that." Slams her hands on the table.
As his father, yeah.
And scares, like Jojo's scared. He's like, "Oh fuck, I'm fucked up."
Yeah.
And then they have a lovely scene where it's like she's pretending to be his father, and then kind of goes back to being his mom, and then is back to being his father. And it's like how his father's like kind of a lush and just a drunk and a good husband and a good father, but has a bit of a temper, as you would in the 1930s living in fucking Nazi Germany, as somebody who's like, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
This lunatic is going to get all of us killed. Yeah, it is fucking a really like heartwarming and also kind of jarring scene. She's like, "You want your father? Fuck it." And he's like, "Oh, I'm eating." He's like, "You're not eating." And she's like, "I'm just going to chew on these grapes." Because she's drinking wine. She takes a big old drink of wine and just chews.
She's trying to save food for
Thomas and Mackenzie.
Yeah. And Jojo, he's playing the long game. He's like, "Well, if you're not hungry, then
I'll eat yours. Don't want anything to go to waste."
Yeah.
I mean, just lovely scenes all around in this. I really like the bit where Jojo and his mom are like out at the shops or whatever. They come across the people that are being hanged in the middle of town. Well, they're just hanging there. They're not being hanged. They're dead bodies.
Yeah.
And Jojo like looks away and she grabs his head and turns
She
it.
makes him
look at it, and she goes, "What were they? He goes, "Why?" And he's like, "What did they do?" And she goes,
"Their best.
They did what they could."
Or they did what they could.
They did what they could, and they were, ruthlessly fucking murdered for it, and then put on public display like some kind of twisted fucking circus.
Which includes, well, I don't know if that does, but throughout this entire movie, there's a lot of foreshadowing to something that we're going to eventually get to.
Oh, such a good amount of it. Yeah.
And it involves some shoes.
Yeah, his mom's shoes. His mom has very distinct shoes, and they are pretty cool. If I was a chick, I would be like, "Those are cute.
Nice.
Those are cute shoes.
Those are cute.
OMG, so cute.
It's cute.
Where'd you cop those at, bitch?" Another lovely scene when at the bridge, when it's like him and his mom at the bridge. And he's sitting there and he's like, "Love is," she's like, "Oh, you'll find somebody you love eventually." He's like, "Why does everybody keep telling me that?" And she's like, "Who else tells you that?"
Right.
He's like, "I don't know, everybody."
Everybody
Thomas
does.
and Mackenzie said it.
Yeah.
So we're skipping a lot of this. Jojo spends a ton of time with Thomas and Mackenzie upstairs, just chatting and they're like, they don't kind of like each other, but kind of they do.
Yeah. She's growing on him, I think. And he slowly starts to realize that she's not an enemy of his. And that's really the basis of this film, I think. Is like,
she's not a monster. She's just another person.
She's a human being, and you can overcome, as a person, any person can overcome their hate, their prejudice towards another. I think that's truly what this is about. Yeah. And the reviews that I read, some of the reviews that I read about this from critics, I think they missed that. And I don't know how, but they did, and that's shitty.
Because they're like, "Oh my God, how could you be so disrespectful to the Nazis?"
Yeah, right.
Whatever. I don't know. A lot of people, I think, took the tone of this wrong, but this is one of the most charming, endearing things I've ever seen in my life. And it's fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
So that scene where they're at the bridge, and she's like, "Oh, you can't tie your shoes." That's another thing is Jojo can't tie his shoes. He's 10 years old. She's tying his shoes, and she ties them together. And she's like, "I think you'll find that love is the strongest thing in the world." And he's like, "Actually, I think that you'll find that metal is the strongest thing in the world, next to muscles and something else." Was the other like dynamite? That's it. So metal, muscles, and then dynamite in that order.
And he gets up and immediately falls over.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh my God, what are you doing? Are you drunk
again?
Are
you drunk? Jojo, are you drunk again?"
It's like, "No, I'll leave you here." And then there's a bit where she's walking with Jojo, and you can just see her shoes because she's a playful adult. So she's walking up on the walkway, and he's actually on the sidewalk or whatever. So he's like eye level with her shoes. And she's like, "Oh, yeah, this and dance." And he's like, "I hate dancing." She's like, "Dancing is the greatest thing in the world. It's for people that are free. It's how we show God we're grateful to be alive."
Yeah.
And which is also more foreshadowing to them. I'm getting goose pimples again.
Getting them goose pimples.
So they're riding the bikes home or whatever. And they get home the following day. And Jojo is starting to kind of fucking crush on Thomas and Mackenzie.
Yeah.
He's been writing these notes as if he is her fiance.
Yeah, that's another really sweet part of this film.
The first one, he's like...
I say sweet as loving. Like,
yeah, it is very, very sweet. He writes the first note. He's like, I found a letter from Nathan. He's like, I fell in love with somebody else. I don't want to marry you, and I'm fat and unemployed.
and it upsets her. Because
so he's like, he goes in the other room and then he comes back and he's like, I found another letter from Nathan. It says, I don't want to break up anymore. Don't kill yourself over me. That's happened before. It's really stressful. He's just broing down hard on it. And it's a little embarrassing, but it's also quite sweet.
Yeah.
She does start helping him write his book.
She does, and she's feeding him a lot of bullshit.
She's feeding it's all bullshit.
It's all bullshit.
Because the first thing he's like, "Draw me a picture of where you live, of where your people live." And she draws a picture of his head.
His head. Yeah,
and he's like, "This is just a stupid picture of my head. I asked you to draw me a picture of where we live." And she's like, "That is where we live."
Yeah.
Because we're just fucking people. We're not, you've got us built up like monsters. That's just in your head. We're just regular ass people.
Yeah. Yeah. Throughout all of this, Jojo's imaginary friend Hitler he's upset with Jojo
because he's spending time with this Jewish girl.
He's spending time with this Jewish girl. It seems like he's switching sides.
He has a genuine friend, so because he has a genuine friend, he has less time to spend with his imaginary friend.
Right.
So for some reason, he imagines his imaginary friend getting jealous.
When he's by himself, though, which I think is really smart.
Right.
You know what I mean? He goes back to his bedroom. Mm-hmm. This is really fucking funny. He goes back to his bedroom, and Taika Waititi as Hitler is lying. He's in his bed, and he's all covered up. He's
like, "I don't want to make this weird. Nothing about this should be weird.
None of this is weird."
Just a grown man sleeping in a little boy's bed.
So fucking funny, man.
Next thing I've just got here is Sam Rockwell for the win. I don't know what that's in regards to, but that's what I've written here.
I mean, the whole film, probably.
Yeah, probably about any of it. And then Stephen Merchant.
Oh, man.
So, we're skipping a ton of shit here because of time, but I cannot stress to you enough how much I hope everybody watches this movie. It's comedy gold. It's heartfelt. I watched this movie. I took this in a Blu-ray player down to my parents' house and made them watch it.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, who notoriously hates every movie, was like, "That was pretty good."
Yeah.
And of course, my dad's like chuckling.
You're right. Just laughing at it. So basically, the Stephen Merchant bit you're talking about, some agents show up to Jojo's house because they learn eventually,
it's the Gestapo.
It's the Gestapo. His mother is obviously helping the other side.
Right.
And I think they kind of catch on to this.
Yeah.
So they go search Jojo's house for evidence. So during this raid, Thomas and Mackenzie pretends to be Jojo's sister, which really kind of saves the moment, I think, because the Gestapo, they're concerned about Jojo. They're like, "Okay, wait a minute. You want to be a quote-unquote Nazi soldier or whatever. Where is your knife?"
Right. I love... Dude, Stephen Merchant's comedy in this is dead on, because he walks in and he's like, "This is my kind of little boy's room." Yes, I think there's a communist hiding behind my refrigerator. We get there, it's just some mold, so not far off. It's just like his comedy in it, like Stephen Merchant specifically.
Yeah.
Very funny, very smart choice for casting in this.
Right.
And one of my favorite bits from the whole thing with Stephen Merchant in it when Sam Rockwell shows up. Not necessarily when they're all hiling each other. It is very funny. But the funniest part is when Stephen Merchant and Sam Rockwell are standing and they're like eye to eye, and Sam Rockwell's like looking looking up at him, and Stephen Merchant's like looking down at Sam Rockwell. It's like, God damn, how tall is he? Stephen Merchant is 6'7".
Holy shit!
Right, and Sam Rockwell's 5'9".
Wow.
Right.
That's
right.
That's a
so he is he towers over him.
As my mama used to say, that's a tall drink of water. Yeah, so what I love about this scene though is Sam Rockwell's character.
Is that what your mom says about me? Did she say I'm a tall drink of water?
She does.
She say I'm a thick drink of water?
She says you're a thick boy.
Oh yeah, no shit. In my apple bottom jeans?
Sam Rockwell's character helps Jojo and his sister.
2 for 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Thomas and Mackenzie.
Yeah.
Because she's playing his sister, so they say, where are your papers? She grabs her papers.
Jojo has a sister, really.
He does.
She's dead.
She passed away.
She died of tuberculosis?
I think so.
Yeah.
Or no, her
Thomas and
fiance.
Mackenzie's fiance died from tuberculosis.
I don't know if they
you never really
yeah.
know how Inga died.
Yeah. But yeah, Thomas and Mackenzie's playing his sister. She grabs her papers. I love that Captain K kind of takes over this scene, this moment, and he's helping them, but he's okay, what day were you born? What color are your eyes, or whatever. And she says a date. She says the date she's born, but it's wrong.
Right. And he's like, very good. Closes the book, hands it back to her. He's like, get a new picture. You look like a ghost in that one.
Yeah.
Because she would be a ghost because she's dead. He gets it. He knows. He knows straight up because he knows Jojo's mom. And he knows that if the shoe was on the other foot and he wasn't in the Nazi army as a homosexual man, she would have hid him.
Yeah, for sure. She would help him. Yeah.
I love the way he comments several times. He's like, I'd rather be on the front lines and just be fucking dead.
Yeah.
Because
you start to really feel for this character,
in the
think.
1930s, man, as like as a gay dude in Germany, God, that probably would be fucking rough, man.
Yeah. And he's trying to hide it.
It's fucking rough here in the U.S. in 2022.
Right.
So, whatever, man. Anywho, yes, Sam Rockwell's great. Stephen Merchant, the whole bit with that is great. Him and the Gestapo, they fucking, destroy the house looking for evidence of harboring people and
they
stuff.
Don't find.
No.
Jojo's mom's very careful, but...
Right. It's weird how much different this scene is than the opening scene in Inglourious Bastards, although it's the same type of inquisition. Like, are you hiding people here?
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? With,
Of course I do.
Christoph Waltz? Or is it Christopher Waltz?
It's Christoph Waltz.
Christoph Waltz. Okay, that's what I thought.
Which is a movie we should probably do.
I would be down to do Inglourious Bastards literally anytime.
I know we need to get through some things here real quick, but
we do.
I just want to say real quick, Taika Waititi as Hitler goes on a tirade that is really fucking great. It's some really good acting, and it's kind of a serious moment. But then he tells Jojo as a 10-year-old to get his shit together.
Yeah,
spits in the sink and then kicks Jojo's chair,
kicks the table, and just saunters out. He's like, "Listen, Jojo, you're 10 years old. Get your shit together."
That's so
like he's supposed
funny,
to be
man.
A grown man, because the very first part of the movie, it's Jojo. He's getting ready. He's like, "All right, Jojo Betzler, you're at 10 years old. Today you become a man." So Jojo's out at the shops or whatever. His mom never came home after the Gestapo came by the house. And he's like sees a butterfly and he's following the butterfly. And he looks up and there's his mom's shoes. And she is now strung up in the middle of town as a defector.
Yeah.
So she's been executed.
She's been hanged.
And hung up in the middle of town so everybody can see.
It's really fucking sad, man.
It's super fucking sad. And all they show is shoes. Like, it's the saddest fucking pair of shoes I've ever seen.
And he a kind of a heartfelt moment, he ties her shoes.
Because he's finally learned how to tie his shoes. Yeah. And
so that whole thing, it's crazy. That ties in with the name also, Jojo Rabbit.
Right, because you tie the rabbit and stuff it back down the hole. And Yeah, it's fucking brilliant, dude. There's
so much there.
So many things about this movie layers, it make it one of the most brilliant movies I've ever seen.
During that scene, during that scene, there are a couple shots. They pan away from Jojo hugging his mother's shoes because she's hanging. That's all he can reach.
To the houses.
And those houses look like eyes. Did you notice that?
Yeah, well, that's just the structures, but yes.
Yeah, but that to me, like, I don't know, that spoke to me like, holy shit. I don't know, that's just another, I don't know. I love that.
I'll show you one that speaks to me. Hold up. Here we go. Boom.
Nice.
But yeah, it's that type of architecture where it looks like the houses have eyes.
And it's like they're watching.
I showed Birdman a funny meme. I get that this isn't a visual format, but it's a very funny meme. Trust me, it's about a house and it looks high.
It's fucking fire.
Yeah, it's so fire, baby. So, Jojo's mom's dead. So if there was ever one thing that was going to make a Nazi fanatic be like, maybe I'm not so crazy about the Nazis, it would be if Nazis killed your mom.
Right.
That you'd be like, that's pretty not fucking
that's
cool.
That's not cool, dude.
No, that's pretty not cool. There's a thing that Taika Waititi does, like in his directorial style, that he just knows how to cut to the core of me and reduces everything to something that can be viewed through the eyes of a child, like tragedy, in wonderment, like all these amazing things. And message received. I guess. Right. I don't know how else to say it. The way that he puts it forward, I'm like, I'm into it. You know what I mean? So it's good choice all around. So he's kind of, I don't want to say like, he kind of stops being a Nazi.
Jojo.
At this point.
Yeah.
He kind of stops being a Nazi. There's a bit where he's like getting ready for the day. No, okay, so the war happens. Germany's invaded.
Right.
Thomas and McKenzie hiding upstairs in the attic.
Still hiding.
Jojo's like, I'm gonna go get some food, and then fucking shit goes down. And I for timing reasons, I'm gonna skip a bunch of this. There's a great scene in here with Sam Rockwell. The Germans have lost. The war is over.
Right.
Berlin has been taken by, there's a bit where he's talking to Yorkie in the streets. And he's like, I don't know, the Russians are coming from this way. The Americans are coming from this way.
The British are coming.
The British are coming. He goes, the whole world's coming.
Yeah.
He goes, I mean, like, we got the Japanese, but between you and me, they don't look very Aryan. Yorkie,
man.
he's like, I actually saw them like get a Jew, and personally, I don't see what all the fuss is about.
Yeah.
They look pretty normal to me. Like
Yorkie with the grenade launcher fucking cracks me up.
God, yeah, when he drops it,
he drops it.
Jojo, hey. No, all this stuff with the Yorkie's fucking fantastic, but so there's a bit where Yorkie's talking to Jojo. The war is over. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, I guess your girlfriend. She's safe now, so she can leave just whenever.
He's like, oh,
and the reality sinks in that Thomas and McKenzie might not be in my life anymore.
Yeah.
So he goes home, and she's like, Jojo, who won the war? Who won the war? And he's like, Germany did.
We won.
So she stays in the attic. And then it's like the next day, he's getting ready. He's buttoning himself up in his mirror, just like in the very first scene, opening scene of the movie. And he goes, all right, Jojo Betzler, today you are 10 and a half years old. Today, you can do what you can. Not like today you become a man or any of those lofty, unreal expectations. Today,
just do what you can, man.
You're just gonna do what you can, brother. And he goes and tells Thomas and McKenzie, he's like, hey, listen, I got this note from Nathan. He reads her the note. He's like, oh yeah, me and your friend Jojo have figured out a way to smuggle you out of here and get you to France or whatever. And she opens the door and she's like, Nathan died.
He died
9 months ago. He died of tuberculosis.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, that's weird. Who's been writing these letters? He never breaks character. It's great.
That's such a good moment.
It's great. Like they pepper in that levity with like something that's really heartfelt. It's a really sweet letter. He's like, listen, it's him going like, all right, I know I lied to you, but I kind of like, I don't want you to think I lied to you because I want you to respect me and like me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to lie to you in a way that will still get you out of here That way you think I was honest with you and I can still be the hero. But he's so committed to that she's like, he's dead. I know. All this is a ruse. He's like, well, that's weird. What? What? That's a real Johansson song, you know?
Right. But he tells her, I'll help you escape.
Yeah, he'll help you escape. She's like, and they get your things together.
Yeah, and they go outside.
They get ready to go outside, and she's like, "Is it dangerous?" And in true ScarJo fashion, he turns around and says, "Extremely." And then he opens the door, and there's like just people are fine. It's like broad daylight. It's like a nice day outside, and you see some Americans with an American flag driving by in the middle of the street. And she kind of drinks it in for a minute. And she's like, "Okay."
You lied.
So Germany lost the war, and he's like, "So what now?" And she slaps him.
Yeah.
He's like, "All right, I probably deserve that."
I deserve that.
And she's like, "So what now?" And then they just start dancing. But do you know why they start dancing? They start dancing because dancing is for people who are free.
Yep.
And she's free because, there's no more oppression. It's a foreshadowing thing. It's a fucking gorgeous film.
Yeah.
Front to back. Comedy gold. If anything like this ever actually happened, that's got to be the most hilarious life a person could leave.
Mm-hmm.
Live, not
not leave,
not leave. Boy, these beers are catching up with me pretty quick.
Heyo, guess we better get some deer chili in us.
We better get a little deer chili in us. And then it ends with a poem by Rico, not Riker. Ralkel? I didn't write it down.
Rilke? I don't know how to say it. Rilke. That's it.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful.
What is the it's like?
I got it. I got you.
Oh,
I got you, baby.
You got it?
I got you, baby.
That's my bird.
It says, "Let everything happen to you. Beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final." Which I think is...
it's not really a poem, but whatever. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not a poet guy.
Yeah. But it's beautiful.
Yeah, sure is.
I think it applies to any time, any person.
Yep.
Just no matter what you're going through, just try to keep going.
Keep on plugging away, baby, because it,
life's a garden, dig it. that doesn't even match.
All right, how many? All right, if your thumbs were cigarettes,
yeah,
how many cigarettes? How many Taika Waititi cigarette thumbs?
How many
would you smoke for this out of 10?
How many Taika Waititi as Hitler?
It's Waititi.
How many Taika Waititi as Hitler cigarettes would I give this?
To children. You got to give them to kids. That's the shtick. Cigarette. How did it hold up since your last viewing over a year ago?
Better than it did the first time. So I can't not give it a 10.
There it is.
I can't.
100% movie, baby.
I just can't find a thing that I'm like, nah.
Yeah, I can't either. I can't either. And I am notorious for watching a movie that's good and being like, that was all right.
Yeah.
I didn't like this part. But yeah, no, it was a good movie. I mean, I don't know, I'll give it a 9.
Yeah.
I'm really, really easy to get I'm really easy to get a 9 out of.
Right.
It's not hard to get me to go 9 on a film. It is very hard to get me to go 10.
Yeah.
I'm like the rigged thing that you hit with the mallet at the carnival. You know what I mean? There's just a stopper up there at 10. So it's you got to get a Captain Fantastic or you got to get a Jojo Rabbit because there's nothing I would have done differently in this. It's so clever, so well put together. The timing's perfect. The pacing's perfect. The casting is amazing. The comedy's great. The heartfelt bits, all of it really comes through 110%. All the great stuff that's Jojo Rabbit and him being scared of the rabbit and him can't tie his shoes because here's how you tie your shoes with the rabbit.
Yeah.
All those fucking teeny tiny things piled up 50 layers deep. You could just unpack this for days.
Yeah.
And all of it's good.
Mm-hmm.
There's not one where you're like, well, that's kind of stupid.
Right.
It's not because it's about a 10-year-old boy. Kids are fucking stupid. You know, I have one. I love her to pieces. She's dumb though, because she's 11. She's very smart for an 11-year-old. But compared to an adult person, very stupid.
She's gonna listen to this at 21 and be like, "Man, my dad's a fucking piece of shit."
Dad, think I was a dumbass? No, I don't, baby. I love you so much. You're brilliant. You're brilliant little girl, but you're still a little girl.
All right, let's go watch something that's probably not as good as this.
Yeah, we're gonna go watch another thing with a child protagonist and a Nazi called Mac and Me. We'll be right back. Here's the fake thing.
Good evening, folks. My name's Spam Elliott, and I'm here to talk to you about something near and dear to my heart. Freedom and horses with ticks near their anuses.
Every year, tens of horses are brought into emergency rooms across America, suffering from violent blood loss to anal-induced tick bites. Only 93% of these horses actually survive the procedure to remove the anal ticks, causing violent anal fissures all the way up the rectum. Damn near killed them. Your support could save up to one horse per year. With a one-time pledge of $278,000, you can help save a life.
A horse's life, and that's more important than you'll ever know.
There's nothing more wild and free than the heart of a horse.
I'm Cram Elliott, and I want you to call now.
Reach out and touch a horse. Please call 800-BLOW-NUT. Call and make your pledge today. Call in at 1-800-BLOW-NUT. That's 1-800-256-9688. That's 1-800-BLOW-NUT. Hey guys, real quick, just wanted to throw out a couple special thanks for the folks who helped make this show possible. Big thanks to Lamplighter Productions for our artwork, Brad Sexton for our jams, Godsized Growing for some musical guest appearances, Missouri T-Shirt Company for that drip, and mad thanks to Dave who does all of our video editing for YouTube. We probably wouldn't even be on that platform were it not for him. If you want to check out anything that any of these amazing individuals are working on, all of their links and websites are in our bio. If you like the show or you want to get in contact with us, please email us at itsjusttwomovies@gmail.com or hit us up on Instagram or Twitter at itsjusttwomovies. If you like the show and you want to support this, it's super easy to do. Just, leave us a like, rate us in app. You give us a good 5-star rating, that'd be fucking amazing. Or you can leave us a review and we'll read it out on the show. Yeah, so that's it. Quick interjection. Enjoy the show. Okay, we're back. We just watched Mac and Me. Just to give you a heads up before we start this episode, I will be doing the entire episode under the guise of someone in the movie Mac and Me. Okay. Not any one particular person, just literally any character actor in the entire film.
Sounds good.
Mac and Me.
I like it.
All right. Mac and Me was brought to you by Coca-Cola in 1988. It is a sci-fi family film. Family friendly, 1 hour and 39 minutes long. It's got a 3.4 out of 10 on IMDb, 4% on Rotten Tomatoes, 99% on Coca-Cola.com. Release date August 12th, 1998. Directed by Stuart Rafel. Trademark Coca-Cola. Budget was $13 million. Music by, I'm not going to pronounce that. Stars Jade Caligari, Tina Casperry. Tina Casperry? Yeah, sure. Jonathan Ward, Christine Ebersole, Lauren Stanley, Ivan J. Rado, and some other people. It doesn't really matter.
Hey, Danny, real quick.
Yeah.
Are you
going to open that refreshing classic Coca-Cola? Oh, man. You know, that really makes me hungry for some McDonald's Big Mac. Just a real, just a medium fry and a Big Mac and a Coca-Cola.
What about a McFlurry?
I would take a McFlurry, maybe a This movie is McFucked. It is so delightful, though. This is if company logos just purchased the movie E.T.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, I will sell you every square inch of this movie. I'll sell it all.
Everything.
Everything.
Literally everything.
The only time anybody drinks water, they get sick. in the whole man. I don't mean sick with 3 eyes. Like they're not doing skateboard tricks all of a sudden because they're hydrated. They are drinking exclusively Coca-Cola.
Oh, man.
Shopping at Sears Hardware. Sears department stores near you.
Using Energizer batteries. To power their flashlights. What you want to give us a brief rundown about what this this
kid's a moron.
This thing is about.
He's a huge Chicago Cubs fan. Got him.
Boom, roasted.
Got him. Boom, roasted. I'm just kidding. I really don't give a shit about the St. Louis-Chicago rivalry, but I do enjoy making fun of it.
Right.
So, whatever. Or if you're really into the Cubs, go fuck you.
Yeah.
Could I say what this is about? So, Well, while this movie is entertaining in both its quality and presentation, it is much better enjoyed side by side with an ice-cold Coca-Cola. It's a lot of product placement, like all the time. And by product placement, I mean Coca-Cola and McDonald's. So it's Mac and me. Mac Kids.
Mac
Kids. Yeah, on the McKids.
It has
a shirt at the end. There's a lot of weird, like, clothing choices. I don't mean for the era. I mean, like, on the aliens. So what is this about? This is about some aliens. They're on another planet. There's some sort of like Land Rover lander situation on their planet.
From the U.S.
Where their planet is not clear. It can't be the moon. I think it's supposed to be the moon, but Saturn is like humongous in their... Saturn would not be that big from the surface of our moon. It would not take up like 80% of your night sky. So I don't know where they're supposed to be. Earth rover lander thing, they all get inside it, I guess. And then they come back to Earth, and then they're like, oh shit, we're on Earth. We don't belong here. Whoop, 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 whoop. Except they don't say any of that. All they say is... Yeah, they're doing like a C-3PO. C-3PO / bird type communication. Yeah. So their hijinks ensue.
Yeah.
The family is separated. You've got the little one, Mac. He's out on his own. He has an adventure with a family. The rest of his family wanders out into the desert of California,
right?
Somewhere, I guess. And they just drink water like a bunch of dipshits because there's Coca-Cola coming out of the ground wherever they live originally, I guess. Coca-Cola is like the cure for what ails them. Real fucking snake oil shit. So they're out there like dying, and eventually they're reunited.
Right.
Via hijinks by some children.
Yeah, that's pretty much the whole film.
And Coca-Cola and McDonald's.
Oh, man. You said it, brother.
Yeah.
That's it.
So, play the next segment of the show.
This is a very interesting film.
That's an interesting way of putting it. It is, man, there's so much, like, just the...
There's so much to unpack here.
I think what happened with Mac and me, I said it before we even sat down to watch it, I think they got about a third of the way through it and went, this is not going to turn out how we intended, so...
Does anybody want to...
Let's reshoot a couple of scenes and just fucking pedal to the metal, baby. I don't know if they reshot all of this. Maybe this was done exactly as intended.
I'd kind of like to know, yeah.
I kind of would like to know how much of this was like, no, this is exactly 100% the movie we set out to make. I will say, though, for the day, Mac didn't look bad. But he only had one expression, and it was surprised.
Right.
Yeah, man, I already said all the shit about this, huh? Had a budget of $13 million. Wonder what it made in box office.
This had a budget of $13 million?
That's what it says. Budget. 13 mil, baby. Box office 6.4 mil domestic. Who knows how much it made overseas where there's no such thing as religion. Jeez. Yeah, this thing's a wreck, though. Let me count the things that I loved about it. Number one, the cast.
Yeah.
I liked everybody in it.
Okay.
There was nobody I was like, this is bad even for the day. Actually, I thought it was acted fairly well.
Really?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. I mean, for what it is, it's a family movie made in fucking 1988.
Right.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's pretty standard what you're going to get. But, like, this is any family movie from 1988 as far as the acting is concerned. What I really like about it is the terrible puppet costume suit. Whatever the situation is there. I probably should have looked up. A better journalist would have looked it up, but I'm not a better journalist.
I think it's a person
in that
right?
In that suit. Sometimes,
has to be.
Sometimes I think so. Sometimes I think it's like a Muppet type of situation.
Maybe, yeah, because the
and
smaller.
Sometimes I think it's stop motion animation.
Yeah,
like there is one scene where I am almost positive it's stop motion animation. If it's not, it was just something with the stream speed on it. This is on Prime, by the way, if you want to check it out.
Oh my God, please.
So I would say the most famous thing about the movie Mac and Me, I would be remiss, Birdman, if I didn't mention to you that you already know, because you and I have talked about several times how Paul Rudd will go on, is it Conan?
Yes.
He'll go on Conan to plug up thingies in because he's Paul Rudd and he's in everything. You know, he's the world's sexiest man right now on Time magazine or some magazine. Who reads magazines anymore?
Somebody out there reads them, right?
Yeah, or they wouldn't still sell them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean? Yes, I did know that he is Earth's sexiest man.
That's crazy. Good looking dude though.
He's a pretty good looking dude. He's got a serum that he takes every morning.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the slime from Nickelodeon.
Yes.
He drinks
He drinks the green Nickelodeon
drinks that
slime
every morning.
Huh.
And that's how he looks.
And then he watches Mac and Me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every time Paul Rudd, world's sexiest man, goes on Conan O'Brien for the last ever since he's
15,
been famous.
20 years. Yeah.
Since he's been famous and gone on Conan O'Brien. He'll be like, he's promoting a movie, and they go, okay, well, yeah, let's show a little clip from the movie, and they roll the clip from the movie, and it's a clip from Mac and Me of the kid in the wheelchair going out of control down a hill over a cliff, into water.
Right. Every time.
Every single time. Every time he's ever been on the show. I wonder how many appearances he's made.
I think it's at least 10.
It's a lot.
Maybe more than, it might be more than that.
You can look it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're listening to this on YouTube, leave a like. I appreciate it. But you can look it up on YouTube. Paul Rudd, Conan, Mac and Me.
Yeah.
It'll show up.
Just whatever.
There's a bunch of them. It's quite funny. But it's from this movie, which is also quite funny. Speaking of bits about the movie that are quite funny, when he rolls down that hill out of control on that wheelchair, he's like throwing on the handbrakes and the handbrakes break off.
Yeah.
And he's just launched into that pond, I guess.
Yeah,
lake, maybe.
I would say pond.
Yeah, and then Mac rescues him, which is great because he could not swim. I don't know if he was seat buckled into that chair, but he got the chair. The kid was in the chair.
I don't think he was because I think he fell out of the chair, and then the alien. Sorry, Mac,
the mysterious alien creature.
Yes.
Yeah. Or the
McDonald's. Arctic asinine McDonald's artificial cucumber.
I can't think of a product that starts with A that's not like it wouldn't be Apple because this is 1988.
When did Apple start?
I think it was Macintosh back in 88.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Or the Macintosh was a product of Apple back in 1988. I don't fucking know.
I think it was. I think it's always been Apple.
I was a very small boy or an older person.
Is that still a bit we're doing?
No, I'm done with it. It died.
I'm
bringing it back.
I might have been born in 1988. I don't know though.
I've already got a running joke going this season, and nobody knows it but me. Like that song that's probably in the soundtrack to Mac and Me. Nobody knows it but me. Bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. Just to Law and Order.
All right, so as you can tell, this segment's going to be a little out of hand.
Oh, there's not a lot to say about Matt. Like, what else would you say about it? It's great. There's a hilarious fucking puppet. He looks like he was perfectly designed by a creator that just wants him to suck the world's littlest dick. He cannot not look surprised or drunk. And he just is making the whistling face all the time.
And his cheeks look like two
balls.
Two balls.
They just look like two nuts. Like when you pull them taut against the sack.
But very separate.
Yeah. It's like if you take one ball and you pull it taut, you know what I'm saying? On the sack, so it just looks like an egg. You know what I'm talking about.
Taut? Yeah, you're saying tight as an Australian?
No, taut, like without tension. This movie's fucking great.
It's so good.
The best thing about it is we could go back in the other room and watch it again, and I could do a whole different comedy lineup of shit I would say during the movie.
Yeah.
That is just as funny, if not funnier, than the improv on First Date. Like, this is a really great movie to just like rip apart with your friends while you watch it, and it is entertaining.
Yeah, right.
And the part about it that's entertaining is that it is absolutely fucking shameless. Like, it does not give a fuck, man. It's just like, whatever, this is a cash grab.
Yeah.
And it worked.
It is, and it works. It's maybe a little long. You know,
you could easily
cut 15 minutes off.
Yeah, I was like 10, 15 minutes, and it would be better than it is.
Yeah, for real.
It would be better than it is if it was, yeah, exactly like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes, 12 minutes shorter, maybe. There's a little bit of meandering, but it's really not much. A lot of it really is like character building and situational stuff, but some of it's like, there's a flash mob inside of a McDonald's.
Oh, dude, that might have been one of my...
That's the biggest, like, what the fuck is going on here?
There's a flash mob. They do a synchronized dance.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's dancing.
Ronald McDonald is actually in this film.
Ronald McDonald's in the house.
In his California McDonald's.
The ice cream machine works.
What?
I don't know. Just in this fantasy world.
McFlurry's on the house.
McFlurry's be fucking McFlowing, baby. Just... We better get this alien out of here before we all get McFucked.
So yeah, you've got a group of young children,
not even YAs,
harboring some aliens while the government tries to capture these aliens. That is essentially this whole film.
Yep,
it is fucking hilarious. If you have the time, if you have Prime on time, watch it. Please.
Yeah, no,
because it's
a hoot, man. If you've ever been like, I don't know, but like, I listened to the show, but I've never been into bad movies. I don't know if it's for me. This one's for everybody. This is for everybody.
Yeah.
I could put my 11-year-old in front of this and go, watch this movie with me, make fun of it, and she would have a hoot. I love the bit how like the only thing the aliens do is cause a shitload of destruction and like blow shit up wherever they go, like that's near a civilized world. When they escape, quote unquote, from the NASA thing, they probably could have just been like, point to themselves and then be like, leave. Just, double finger off in the distance and be like, we're gonna fuck off. You guys are gonna show us the door. Cool?
Or could you just like take us back home?
And then blow shit up afterwards. That'd be fine. Their existence on the other planet seemed pretty fucking miserable, though, hey?
Yeah, it did. They were just drinking Coca-Cola out of the ground.
Yeah, just drinking pure Coca-Cola out of the ground. It's the only thing that keeps their life force going. There's a planet out there that's just full of Coca-Cola just under the surface. NASA will find it.
What do you think the planet was?
Or like Elon. I wonder if that's what he's up to, that bloke.
That bloke. So, okay, I don't think it was Mars. Well, maybe it was Mars.
Okay, so in their sky, Saturn is humongous. This would be like what the sky would look like from a moon of Saturn.
Was that Saturn?
No fucking way. In '88, were people like, yeah, we'll send fucking satellites to the moons of Saturn next year, and it won't be no problem. Because it takes decades to traverse that distance.
Right.
Maybe not. I don't know. They never said, not that I recall.
I'm just like speculating. I wonder what the fucking planet is.
Like sloppy scientific shit. Like it bothers me and I love it. So the part that I love about it is that they're like, nobody's gonna know.
Right.
Nobody's gonna know. You know
but
what I mean?
You're also like,
I love an educational podcast and educational stuff. I love fucking outer space, and so when I see
fucking outer space,
fucking
like
dude,
the whole.
You ever put your dick in a vacuum?
Got him.
There's layers on that.
He's doing an arm. He's doing an arm thing.
Have
there.
you though? I was punching the air. I thought it was a good one.
Oh man.
All right, man. Me, Mac, and me.
Me.
What
you?
What else you got about it?
And Mac.
Oh fuck. That's what the sequel's called. Me, you, and Mac.
I like it.
This is where they got Marley and me. Somebody got way too baked, watched Mac and me, and went, yeah, but if it was a dog and they were older.
All right, so it looks like there was a sequel, but they canceled it.
What was it called?
So a sequel is
Mac and Me 2 Cruise Control.
There was a VW in this one.
A Volkswagen?
Yeah, the van. Remember the van?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
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 But I'm just trying to think of like, okay, if there was a second one, what would it
Would it
like?
be the Volkswagen? Like something with the Volkswagen logo?
Yeah. All right, a sequel was announced at the time of Mac and Me's release. The film ends with the text, "We'll be back," but given its unpopularity, a follow-up did not happen.
Strike now while the iron's hot.
Producer R.J. Lewis spoke of the ending in 2017 and did not rule out a sequel. He claimed there is a public interest because of home video sales. But it looks like nothing's really happened.
That's a shame. I'd watch a sequel to this. I would watch an irreverent modern-day sequel to this called Mac is Back or something.
Mac,
any stupid fucking thing. Big Mac. Because now he's big.
Right.
It's been 20 some odd years, 30 years.
Mr. Big
now
Mac.
It's just called Big Mac and Me. He works at McDonald's. People will be like, I want to speak to the manager, and he comes out and he's like,
yes. They're like, what?
Yeah, exactly. So he's been living here for 30 some odd years, and he's just not getting on very well. You know what I mean? I'd watch the shit out of that. But you got to get Paul Rudd in it.
Yes.
Wait, what if Paul
Rudd has to be the McDonald's manager?
Paul Rudd's like, what if he's a line cook?
No, he's got to be the McDonald's.
He's got to be the manager. Okay, yeah. So Big Mac works like slightly under him.
Yeah, he's trying to work his way up, but he's having a little trouble because he doesn't speak English.
Or
he's a fucking alien.
Or at all.
He doesn't speak at all.
They just pay him in the cardboard cutouts of Coke, like the cardboard refills.
No, they just pay him in Coke.
Yeah, they just pay him in Coke, Kane, because he's like 39 now.
He's having a little trouble.
Yeah, he just can't quite get it together. But he hangs out with Paul Rudd after work, and they go out and have a couple of beers and
it's got the kids from the first movie.
Oh yeah,
and they've moved past it. Like they're done with him.
Yeah, like little Jimmy or whatever
they're
his
doing
name is.
well.
He's like a lawyer.
They're well off.
Yeah.
And they see him, and they're just kind of like, ugh.
Yeah. Oh god, was that Mac?
Ugh, he's really took a turn for the worse.
I haven't hung out with him since I was a kid. I don't even know him. Just like acting like he doesn't know him. They went on this great epic adventure together.
Yeah. He saved its life.
And then
redeeming arc.
They go out. They're having a couple of beers. Paul Rudd and Mac.
Yeah.
Big Mac.
And
Paul Rudd brings his wife. I don't know. Kristen Wiig. Kristen Wiig. Thank you. And she brings her friend.
Mm-hmm.
And Big Mac and Kristen Wiig's friend, they get a little will they, won't they thing.
Kristen Wiig's friend, played by Mastermind's.
Ooh,
what's her name?
Kristen Wiig.
No, right? No, the other lead, the other female lead in Masterminds, SNL alum.
The waitress?
No. Kate McKinnon. Zach Galifianakis.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Perfect. All right. So Kate McKinnon.
Yep.
And Kristen Wiig. So Kristen Wiig, she's with Paul Rudd.
Yes.
They're a couple, and they've got their friend Kate McKinnon.
Yep.
She meets Matt, and she is smitten immediately. They're in love, and they have a like fast forwards. You do a montage of them like falling in love and getting an apartment. And like thinking about having a kid and going and talking to a fertility doctor and everything looks good. And then it turns out that Big Mac used to have a gambling problem that never happened off screen. She gets kidnapped.
Oh, shit.
Because they're going to squeeze Big Mac for the money. And then he fucking John Wicks it. Boom.
They're going to squeeze.
It's a classic Taken, but he loves McDonald's. So like, they have fights like in a McDonald's, and he's just like, bah. He's in a McDonald's, and then he like stops and grills a burger, like they don't do at McDonald's. You know what I mean? To make it look like
this is not where I thought it was going.
Nah. Well, where else would you go with that?
I thought you were gonna like say that they were gonna adopt Big Mac or something.
They were gonna adopt. Well, Big Mac's the dad, Big Mac and Kate McKinnon get together and they get an apartment and stuff.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're a couple now, and you get a montage of them like, oh, maybe they get married and they're, they got their first place, and just quick montages. Him carrying her across the threshold and maybe she goes down on him. He's like, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then one day she gets fucking people break in and she gets kidnapped. It's a real
John Wick taken.
'Cause do whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. Just do it, and then do a bit where Big Mac's like standing next to a poster, and it's like the poster's John Wick 7 or whatever. Like sell every square inch of it. Who fucking cares?
Could we have like a Burger King McDonald's rivalry within the movie somehow?
Make other aliens come that sponsor other companies. And they just like try to genocide each other over Coke or Pepsi. Who fucking cares? Like, it doesn't really matter what you do with it. Anything would be entertaining because you did another one of these. Like, what?
But I don't think you could make this in the same vein.
It would have to be in the same vein, in my opinion.
I know, but how? Without?
Oh no, this is too genuine. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it in the same vein.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you couldn't make.
But it's been long enough. You could just do whatever, and nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna be like, it's not. It doesn't have the same feel as the first Mac and Me, because nobody liked the first Mac and Me.
Maybe get Will Forte in there somehow.
Yes. Make him like the greasy line cook that's just always smoking. He's just always having a smoke break.
Or he's just MacGruber within the film.
Oh my God. Just famous action star MacGruber.
Which I cannot wait for that TV series.
Oh, I'm pumped about it.
Oh, man.
What's this about?
Oh, yeah. Get it, son.
Oh, shit. A double, huh?
A double.
8? All right. I think I can hang.
It's fucking good, dude.
It's good shit? So tell me, if you had... All right. Look, if I could change anything about this movie, it would just be to trim 10 minutes off of it.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. I wouldn't change anything about this. I actually love this movie.
It's so good.
It's the dumbest. It's so dumb. It's just a pointless cash grab. It
is. It really is.
It's E.T. with more product placement.
And less story.
It's ridiculous, is what it is, and I love it.
Yeah. The story is so easy, though. You know what I mean? Like, that's why...
There's nothing to it,
There's nothing to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you had 10 thumbs.
Okay.
And they were all Mac.
God damn. I had 10 Mac thumbs?
If you had 10 Mac thumbs.
3 for 3, ladies and gentlemen. 3 for 3. Beers thrown in the trash can from across the podcast studio.
Boom. That's at least 10 feet. I'm just kidding. It's probably like 8.
Like 7. Yeah, so I was going to say 7.5. Yeah.
If you had 10,
I got 10 Mac thumbs,
and they're
Mac trucks or Mac mysterious alien creatures.
Mysterious alien creatures.
Okay, let's pretend I do. I got 10 of them.
No, I'm sorry. If you had 10 thumbs that were Coca-Cola cans.
Ooh, that's better.
With straws hanging out of them.
Wait. How about 10 Mac thumbs brought to you by Coca-Cola?
That's pretty good. Whatever works for you.
Or 10 Mac thumbs drinking 10 Coca-Colas individually.
Oh, that's another layer. That's layers. I like it. Stacks on stacks.
Whatever you prefer.
If you had 10 of those.
Okay. All right.
What would you give this film?
I'm gonna go. Man, this is creeping. This is creeping into real good territory
right?
For me. Oh, I think I'm gonna go 9.5.
I was gonna say 9.5.
I'm gonna go 9.5.
I almost wanted to go 10, but I don't think I can. Just because
it still is problematic. It's a little long.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like Jojo Rabbit at 1:45 or whatever. It's right on the button. It's right as long as it should be, and it's interesting the entire time.
Yeah,
this has got some dead space in it. For instance, 9 minutes of the flash dance mob at fucking McDonald's. It's just way too... All right, first of all, it's weird. It doesn't fit. Second of all, if you're going to really fucking force it in there and make it happen for no reason at all, hurry it along.
Yeah.
You know, it's too
much.
It's too much.
It felt like an 8-minute scene. I know that's very specific.
It felt really long.
8 minutes is... It did. So, Mac and Me at 1 hour and 39. Yeah, if cut 10 minutes off of that, you know what I mean? Probably gets a 10. Yeah,
it'd get close to it for sure. Probably 8 to 12 minutes. I was at somewhere in that ballpark, so to like a general 10, yeah, but...
Yeah. 9.5, man. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it really is.
I kind of want to...
we probably didn't remark on how these two movies are tied together. So Jojo Rabbit is about a little boy that discovers that he's not racist. Mac and Me is about the United States of America that discovers it's not racist. Because eventually at the end of the movie, they're like, you're United States citizens. And they're all wearing suits and dresses and shit. And they're all like...
In a court...
Yeah. A judge fucking swears them in the weirdest ceremony you've ever seen in a church.
Yeah, dude.
It's fucking bizarre. Yeah. Well, it was originally because the antagonist is a boy.
Yeah.
Just a young boy.
Young boy.
We were going to go with Nazis, but we tried that route. I am well aware the Iron Sky movies exist. We almost watched them, but it seems like they're deliberately bad.
I think they are.
Yeah, this is not deliberately bad. Somebody thought this was E.T., the second coming of E.T.
And it might be.
Yeah, it's E.T. Okay, E.T. extraterrestrial, Mac mysterious alien creature. We got a winner. I got to piss real bad.
Do it.
Well, I think we're both in agreement. 9.5.
I think so.
95% little Mac thumbs that are all individually drinking their own Coca-Cola. Except, I guess the last one's half a little Mac drinking half a Coca-Cola. It's like a small.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that.
The 8-ounce, but he dumped a little bit out. You know?
Mom said you can't have the full amount.
Speaking of full amount, roll the next segment.
Hey, what you watching?
What you been
What you up to lately?
Hey,
what
you thinking about?
Me?
Just war and stuff, I guess.
Me? Man, been thinking about a lot, you know?
The new news segment of the show, what you thinking about?
So, it's been a while since I've been here.
It has been. Yeah, I got some stuff for you too, but lay it on me. What you got?
I started and finished Skyrim.
Skyrim
job.
Okay. Skyrim
jump. Well, I guess I'm not really technically finished with it. I finished the main story.
Can you ever really finish Skyrim?
I don't think so.
That's why I've never played it. It took me 9 months to beat a relatively middle-sized game that has a definitive ending.
Yeah.
So when somebody's like, "You love Skyrim," I'm like, "Oh yeah, I know.
I know I would.
I know I would love it."
Yeah, I'm about 10 years late.
Yeah,
but yeah, I played it. I enjoyed it.
Old and gold, huh?
Old and gold, baby. What else?
How's the mechanics?
I mean, it's a 10-year-old game, so
right?
The fighting, the combat, it's not great.
A little clunky.
It's dated. It's clunky.
All right,
but it's rich. The game is rich with story. It's rich with just the world. It's great.
Stuff.
Yeah. I finished Butcher's Crossing, soon to be a Nick Cage film.
Oh yeah,
great book. I started reading so there's a novelist. Well, actually, I don't know if he's actually done a full novel. He's a short story writer.
Yeah.
By the name of Ted.
Okay.
I have had
by the Ned of Tame.
By the Ted Chiang.
Okay, Ted Chiang.
So he wrote a short story that eventually became the film Arrival.
Ooh, I love Arrival.
Yeah.
I actually...
So that's based on...
I think about it all the time. I'm like, it's weird we haven't done Arrival yet. Because I've got like 6... I've got like 6 bad alien movies in the bank. Ready to pull out at any time.
So Arrival's based on a short story by Ted Chiang.
That's badass.
So I started reading his collection of short stories. It's really fucking good.
I bet.
I started watching Detroiters.
Good shit. You were texting me and telling me about Detroiters.
If you're familiar with I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson.
I am familiar with it.
You should watch Detroiters. It was on Comedy Central. It's on Paramount Plus right now. Check it out. Other than that, I'm almost finished with Baskets, which you still haven't watched.
I have not. I'm going to, though. I'm going to. I also haven't finished... I haven't finished What We Do in the Shadows. My time to watch very niche comedies is real small. What I'll normally do is if I know I've hit not a lull at work, but I'm not overwhelmed with shit to do, I'll put it on and put it on my phone and I'll glance at it sometimes, but I'm just listening to it.
Right.
So I'll listen to the dialogue and shit, and that's how I catch up on those types of things. It's like imagine if you have a TV show that you put on while you're folding laundry. You're not really 100% invested in it. You're just kind of watching enough of it to keep up with it.
I'm not like that.
No,
I can't do that.
You don't have a folding laundry show?
Unless if I've already watched the show, sure. But if I'm watching something for the first time, it gets my full attention.
Yeah. Well, I have different grades of shows that I'm watching. If it's comedy and I don't have to be hang on every word of it, I watch it lackadaisically. It gets 70% of my attention.
Yeah, I get that, but there are subtle bits, I feel in certain shows that you're if you miss that, you're oh.
Yeah, I agree. So those shows, it takes me even longer to fucking watch because I do have to sit down and be 100% present at it.
Yeah.
And yeah. So it was like comedy shows mostly are some of the ones that I'm I'll watch kind of half-assedly or whatever. And Battlestar Galactica. There was a year where I spent a lot of time at home. Can you guess which one? But I folded a shitload of laundry, and I watched all of the remake of Battlestar Galactica.
Do you actually fold your laundry?
Yeah. Do you not? You just leave it in a basket, and you're it's fine.
Sometimes I just throw it in my dresser.
If it was just me, by myself, and I didn't have a kid and a spouse, I would absolutely just be I would
put it in a basket.
I would live out of a laundry basket
right?
Because why would I put I don't give a shit. Somebody's right. Oh, your shirt's a little wrinkly. How embarrassing. And I'm is it though? I don't
fucking care.
Yeah, I don't. Oh God. I hate that you feel like I might be embarrassed. I don't give a shit.
I'm trying to get better at that because with my towels and stuff. I'll just put them on a chair. My clean towels, I'll just be these go here. and I'll use them throughout the week.
I love a sleeveless shirt.
Yeah,
and
I'll like
go into a grocery right as I wear one right now. But I'll go into a grocery store or something. My mom will be like, "Oh, I can't believe you go to town like that." And like,
and are you like, we live in Bonne Terre?
Even when I was a teenager, and I was like, "Listen, I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. Let me tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bonne Terre." Sun's out, guns out. I don't give a shit. Like, oh no, somebody at Country Mart is gonna be like, "Look at this trashy asshole." Like, I don't give a shit.
It was like, okay, so one time you and I went to Bonne Terre.
The Fresh Prince of Bonne Terre. Come on, that's pretty good.
No, it is good. You and I went to one time. We were super hungover.
Okay, sounds right.
It's whenever you still lived in town, we went to Bonne Terre Huddle House. And I was like, "That's what you're wearing?" And then we got there, and I was like, "Oh, it doesn't matter."
Fit right in. It's camouflage, baby.
You were wearing like a a sleeveless, what was it? I think it was tie-dye. I think it was like a sleeveless tie-dye shirt that said "Best Dad Ever" or something.
Oh, yeah.
And like some gym shorts.
Yep. Going out, I was like, hell yeah, man. This is the jam right here.
And I was like, all right.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. It's every place here is a shithole.
Yeah.
So you're like,
yeah.
Fucking, do I look shitty? Oh, I don't give a shit.
I don't fucking care.
Don't. I don't care if anyone else that I'm going to bump into is like, "Hey, you look a little underdressed." Like, the fuck cares? Oh, you? Whoa! I guess I've made a terrible error. I'm doing air quotes.
Oh man, what you been up to? What you doing?
I finished Watchmen. Not joking. It's fantastic. My favorite part of the entire comic. You know how people will occasionally online, you'll see the images pop up of Dr. Manhattan like on Mars.
Mm-hmm.
Those pages of that are some of the best. That's like some of the best existential writing put into very easily consumable content that I think I've ever seen. It is heavy and great.
Okay.
I really liked, there's a recurring character in the Watchmen comic books who's reading a comic book. And he's reading an older DC comic book called The Dark Freighter? Something about a freighter. Anyway, it's about a pirate who's stranded on an island. He kills a bunch of dudes, or a bunch of his crewmates are dead or whatever. He ties them all together, and because they're bloated, he floats on them. So he floats on this like fucking rotting carcass boat of people and shit. It's very gruesome. That was such a great addition, and like every time I would see that character popped up in the next frame, I could not wait to read over his shoulder, essentially, and see what the Black Freighter, what was about to happen, because it's gruesome and gripping and just dark. Yeah. It is quite dark. And I kind of knew how everything was going to wrap up. Really enjoyed the payoff, and the bonus artwork at the end of the book is so good.
Is that a chef's kiss?
That was a chef's kiss. I did the Italian fingers. I brought them up to my lips, and then I kissed and released on impact of the kiss.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was great though.
That's awesome.
I really enjoyed it a lot. I am almost done with What We Do in the Shadows. Very much enjoying it. The actor that plays Guillermo, his name escapes me at the moment.
Del Toro?
No. No.
Sorry, I had to do it.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It is great. He's like the backbone of the show. He makes everything else in the show work. Like, he's got such a great mechanic, and he's an interesting character. But if you were to like just pull him out, the rest of it would just kind of fall apart and not be funny and not be grounded. So I've really been enjoying that. What else? You know what, man? I've been hitting some fucking Hulu originals pretty hard.
Shit.
Dude, I'm telling you, Hulu.
Shout out to Hulu.
Hulu Originals has got some fucking bangers, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah, they really do. And the best part about them, a bunch of them, hour 20 minutes. They're the perfect length to be like, oh man, I'm finally done with the day. I'm gonna sit down, want to relax, I'm gonna look for a movie to put on. But if you watch something that's like an hour 45, you might fall asleep and miss the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You won't miss the last 10 minutes of this because you're like, oh, it's just 10 more minutes and it's over. So I'll stay awake 10 more minutes.
I got this.
It's a very nice consumable bite, and I bet I have seen like 6 or 7 bangers out of Hulu Originals.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to doing one on the show. My only hesitation is most of them, I would say, are like horror related in one way or another, or they would show up as horror. So I'm thinking about saving some for October, but I might kind of dip my toes in and do 1 or 2 here or there. But I have seen quite a few that I thought were quite good.
Anything in particular that stands out that you would want to do soon? There
is one, just because we were just talking about alien movies, there's one called Save Yourselves that I really, really enjoyed. And here's the thing is, like, when I say it's a good movie, I don't mean it's an excellent movie. I wouldn't be like, hey, Bird, watch this movie because it's going to blow your fucking mind. But I would say, hey, man, if you're looking, like, for a funny sci-fi comedy, check that out for sure.
It's funny because that's on my list.
Is it really? It's good. Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. There's another one called Little Monsters that stars Lupita Nyong'o. That one's fucking great.
Let's see. Yeah, so Save Yourselves, Sunita Mani, John Reynolds, Ben Sinclair. What is Ben Sinclair also in?
Ben Sinclair's in all kinds of shit.
Oh, he's in High Maintenance, the TV show. I watched a couple episodes of that. He's also in Dave. Did you watch the new season of Dave?
Not yet.
It's a little different.
A little different, huh?
Yeah.
What's I didn't mind like. Here's the thing. I really liked Dave, but it took me 3 episodes for me to go, I like this. Because I wasn't sure what to expect going into it. And, like, the pilot didn't really help.
Yeah.
So it took me 2 more episodes to go, okay, that's what this is.
Yeah. Well, I would, if you think it's good enough, if you think one of these Hulu originals by Coca-Cola is good enough.
You down to do one?
Sponsored by McDonald's.
You think you'd be down for that? Think you'd be down to get sponsored by McDonald's? This episode, by the way, is brought to you by the McRib.
It is back.
It's...
Oh, shit. It's right back. There.
I killed you 10 years ago. But it's back.
You son of a bitch.
This summer. McRib. Oh, fuck. Tell McRib, I'm coming for you. Next.
It's McBack, bitch.
All right, we just did one ad right in the middle of the show. Enjoy that in the next episode that comes out. That'll be the trailer for McRib, starring Bradley Cooper.
All right, I think it's time to wrap this bitch up.
No. Give me one more. Who else?
What?
Who else is in it? Bradley Cooper?
In McRib?
Who else is in McRib?
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
The McReckoning. Starring Dwayne the Big Mac... No, Dwayne the Big Rock... Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Michael Shannon. As McRib. He just is the McRib, like he superimposed his face on it.
No, it should be Michael Ian Black.
Michael Ian Black as the McRib? Yes. Oh man, Michael Ian Black, he's very funny, and I just love to hate him. Like, I love for him to be like a wormy, shitty guy, because I don't like him, but at the same time, like, he's very funny.
You don't like him?
He's very funny in everything I've ever seen him do, and there's something about him that I just don't like.
I saw him live. He
just crack me the fuck up.
I saw him live.
It's funny, isn't it?
It's fucking hilarious, dude. He can tell what should be a 5-minute joke and make it last 30 minutes.
That's my jam.
And it's funny as fuck.
Have I told you the horse joke? You know the joke about
You've
the
told
horse.
me all of these jokes. And
I'll never tell it on this podcast, ever.
I don't want to hear it right now.
No, I'm not going to tell it to you right now, so it's fine. Because we're doing the podcast. Did you not just hear me say, I will never tell it on the podcast, ever? So the... a little bit of sizzle for you out there. If you like this show, it would be amazing if you take a minute of your time and just give us a 5-star rating on whatever.
And if you don't like it, you can fuck off.
If you don't like it, you can fuck off. Bird's absolutely 100% right on
if
point.
You do like it,
that'd be great. If you would really leave a like, drop us a subscribe or whatever. You heard the special thanks. I made a new special thanks thing. I hope you enjoyed it. We don't have to do a sexual thing. This is a different season. How do you want to?
You guys aren't going to start sucking each other's dicks, are you?
Let's call that gold talk for a one-eyed Batman.
Can I make a suggestion that doesn't involve violence? Or is this the wrong crowd?
Maybe we should call in a bomb threat to Houston. I think it's free beer night at the Astrodome.
The Jedi, Bob. We don't fight with guns, we fight with our mind.
Cousin, business is booming.
That is one big pile of shit.
Jog on.
It's Just Two Movies is a production of Blue Cheese and Bacon Studios and can be found wherever you get your podcasts.
I wonder what it's like to feel somebody's liver when you're fucking them, you know what I mean?